Hello, I'm David Grasso, host of the Millennial Minute on Bold TV. Today's tricky question: is it harmful for men to wear women's clothing? You've already heard from our guests, Hilary Levey Friedman, she's the author of Here She Is, and Isabel Brown from Turning Point USA. So, really interesting thing here, of course, a lot of people saw the Harry Styles from formerly of One Direction. I'm a little old for that reference, but I know who he is. Put on female clothing and it kind of ignited Twitter, right? You know, I think that he lives in the United Kingdom, another free country, right? Isabel, you were saying that, everyone has the right to do what they want to do and that we shouldn't feel threatened by that.
Absolutely. That could not be more true than it is in 2020, even in the midst of some very tricky situations that we find ourselves in with the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Constitution is a document that was created with the intention of us having a free country, living my life as an individual separately from how either of you would make individual choices in your lives, free from judgment from myself, free from interference from myself, or from a too powerful government entity. That document was not written for the times, but to stand the test of time. And even in 2020, when we continue to have conversations like this one, I think it's so remarkable how lucky we are to live in a country that affords us the opportunity to make our own individual decisions.
So Hilary, I love what you said because I was going to bring it up, right? Is that norms change over time, right? Like pink was considered a male color. In fact, I believe Teddy Roosevelt's time, he was raised in female clothing because all kids under a certain age only wore female clothing. So really the goalpost has moved significantly on what's appropriate for males and females, and that continues evolving.
Yeah, I mean, men actually used to wear high heels or some form of high heels, used to do their hair, perfume the hair, color the hair, wear wigs. So those things have 100% changed over time. And I think the problem really is when we restrict people. In other parts of the world, women really are restricted in what they can wear, whether that's they're ordered to wear a burqa, for example. In the United States, if a woman wants to wear a burqa, she can, and we should, again, as has been said, celebrate that choice, and that's what America is about. So it is very interesting because most of the discussions historically have been about limiting women's movement and what they're able to wear, and now we're seeing this conversation happen around masculinity. Billy Porter likes to wear dresses out, Jonathan Van Ness, but they identify not as heterosexual, and so the Harry Styles is probably igniting a bit more of a discussion because he has traditionally been associated with heterosexuality.
You talk about erasing the lines between masculinity and femininity being harmful, but of course we live in a time where queer people are readily accepted. Can you tell me a little bit more about your concerns?
Absolutely. Every day, I'm so fortunate to work with thousands of other Gen Z Americans, those born in 1997 and later, and that includes on high school and college campuses. Overwhelmingly, one of the biggest topics that I hear about every day is this continued erasure between the differences of men and women, which have been biologically proven throughout human history. As a scientist by education myself, was a big part of my curriculum in undergraduate and graduate studies during my collegiate experience. And I find it very unfortunate that we're deciding that the differences between the genders are no longer important or warrant merit in our culture today. The truth is that completely erases the idea of feminism, for example. That completely erases the idea of true equality, because instead of deciding that all people are equal, we're just deciding that all people are the same. That is not rooted in reality. It's not rooted in truth, and unfortunately has not progressed our society.
Yeah, Hilary, I'm curious to hear your take on this issue.
Well, look, I just wrote a book about beauty pageants, which is one of the most hyper feminine things that you can do. I don't think you would say like Rupaul's Drag Race is the same. That's actually about celebrating differences as well. And there's a lot of similarity between drag and beauty pageants because it's about putting on the performance, the social performance, and these norms change of being a woman. So I definitely don't think there's an erasure. I just think we see an expansion of the spectrum of what is possible for everybody as an individual. You can go hyper masculine, you can go hyper feminine, you can be in the middle, you can be totally androgynous. So again, I think it's amazing that we can embrace that choice, that people have the opportunity to make the choice. And to me, that's really what feminism is about.
And I'm so happy that we live in a country where we can celebrate our differences and come together, and that's what this show is all about. So on that note, thank you so much, ladies, for being here and taking the time. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Parler, or wherever else you consume social media. We'll see you soon.